That night, I wasn't supposed to be in the forest. The wind howled like something was hunting, and when those glowing silver eyes locked onto mine, I realized I wasn't lost. I had been chosen. The forest had always been forbidden. Everyone in the village of Blackridge knew that. No one crossed the old boundary line, not after sunset. Not after the disappearances. Not after the stories of glowing eyes in the dark. But Elena Carter had never been good at following rules. Especially not tonight. The sky above her rumbled softly, thick clouds swallowing the moon. The air was heavy, electric, like the world was holding its breath. She tightened her coat around herself as she stepped past the worn wooden sign. Do not enter. Her boots crunched against fallen leaves. 1 hour, she whispered to herself. I'll be in and out. She wasn't here for adventure. She was here for answers. Her grandmother's locket rested cold against her chest. The only thing left after her mysterious death 3 weeks ago. And inside it, a map. A map that led here. The deeper Elena walked into the forest, the quieter everything became. Too quiet. No birds. No insects. Nothing. A sudden crack of thunder split the sky. She flinched. Then, a sound. Low. Deep. A growl. Her heart slammed violently against her ribs. Hello, she called, her voice trembling. Silence answered her. She took another step. Then another. And then, something moved. Fast. Too fast. A shadow darted between the trees. Elena spun around. Who's there? No answer. But she could feel it now. Eyes. Watching her. The wind picked up violently, whipping her hair across her face. The trees creaked as if bending toward her. Then, she saw them. 2 glowing silver eyes in the darkness. Her breath caught. Not human. Not even close. The creature stepped forward slowly. Massive. Towering. A wolf, but far too large to be real. Its fur shimmered under the faint lightning, muscles rippling beneath its skin. Its eyes burned into hers like they were reading her soul. Elena couldn't move. Fear rooted her to the ground. The wolf circled her slowly. Once. Twice. Studying. Hunting. No, she whispered, stepping back. Her heel caught on a root. She fell hard. The wolf stopped. Tilted its head. And then, something impossible happened. It stepped closer. And instead of attacking, it knelt. Right in front of her. Elena froze. What are you? The wolf's eyes softened. Then suddenly, its body began to shift. Bones cracked. Fur receded. The massive creature shrank, twisting into something human. Elena gasped. Within seconds, a man stood before her. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Bare-chested. Rain beginning to fall against his skin. His eyes. Still glowing silver. He stared at her like she was something he had been searching for his entire life. Finally, he said, his voice deep and commanding. Elena's heart pounded harder. Finally, I found you. She scrambled backward. Stay away from me. But he didn't move. Instead, he crouched down slowly, careful, not threatening. You crossed into my territory, he said calmly. I didn't know. You did, he interrupted gently. And he was right. She had known. She just hadn't expected this. Please, she whispered. I don't want any trouble. The man studied her face. Then his gaze dropped to her chest. To the locket. His entire expression changed. Sharp. Intense. Dangerous. Where did you get that? Elena instinctively covered it. It was my grandmother's. The moment the words left her mouth, the air shifted. The man stood abruptly. No, he muttered. That's not possible. Fear crept deeper into Elena's chest. What do you mean? He looked at her again. This time not like prey, but like something far more complicated. Something important. Your grandmother, he said slowly. What was her name? Eliza Carter. The man went completely still. Even the storm seemed to pause. "Eliza," he whispered. Then he laughed, but it wasn't humor. It was disbelief. "Fate. This is impossible." Elena stood, her legs shaking. "Who are you?" He stepped closer. Too close. But this time, she didn't run. Because something inside her, something strange, was pulling her toward him. "My name," he said quietly, "is Kale." He paused, his glowing eyes locking onto hers. "I am the alpha of this territory." Elena's breath hitched. "Alpha? As in?" Her thoughts shattered as another howl echoed through the forest. Louder. Closer. Kale's head snapped toward the sound. His entire demeanor changed instantly. Protective. Alert. "They found you," he said sharply. "Who?" "My enemies." Before she could react, Kale grabbed her wrist. "Run." The forest exploded into chaos. Branches snapped. Leaves scattered violently under pounding footsteps. Elena's lungs burned as she ran, her hand tightly gripped in Kale's. "Faster," he commanded. "I'm trying," she gasped. But no matter how fast she moved, it felt like the darkness itself was chasing them. Behind them. Howls. Not one. Not two. But many. They echoed through the forest like a death sentence. Elena stumbled, nearly falling, but Kale caught her instantly, pulling her upright with ease. "Don't look back," he warned. Too late. She did. And what she saw froze her blood. Glowing eyes. Dozens of them. Closing in. "Oh my God," she whispered. "They're not mine," Kale said, his voice dark with fury. "They don't belong here." "Then who are they?" Kale didn't answer immediately. Instead, he suddenly stopped. Elena almost collided into him. "What are you doing?" she panicked. He turned slowly, placing himself in front of her. Between her and the approaching danger. "They're here for you." Her heart dropped. "Me? Why?" Kale's jaw tightened. "I don't know yet." The growls grew louder. Closer. The shadows began to take shape. Massive wolves, emerging from the darkness. Larger than normal. More aggressive. Their eyes glowed red. Not silver. Not like Kale's. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Kale's body tensed. "Stay behind me," he ordered. Elena's hands trembled. "Kale." He didn't respond. His focus was locked on the wolves. There were at least 8 of them now. Circling. Closing in. One stepped forward. Bigger than the rest. Scarred across its face. Its red eyes burned with hatred. Kale's voice dropped to a dangerous growl. "Rogue pack." The word sent a chill down Elena's spine. The scarred wolf snarled and then shifted. Bones cracked violently. Fur receded. And within seconds, a man stood in its place. Tall. Rough. Cruel-looking. A wicked smile spread across his face. Well, he drawled. "If it isn't the great Alpha Kale." Kale's expression turned to ice. "Ronan." Elena felt the tension spike like lightning. Ronan's gaze slid to her. And everything about him changed. His smile widened. "Well now," he said slowly. "So it's true." Kale stepped forward slightly, blocking her from view. "Leave. Now." Ronan laughed. "You always were territorial," he mocked. "But this time. You're guarding something that doesn't belong to you." Elena's breath hitched. "What does that mean?" she whispered. No one answered her. Ronan tilted his head, studying her like she was a rare prize. "That scent," he murmured. "I'd recognize it anywhere." Kale's voice dropped to a lethal tone. "Don't." But it was too late. Ronan grinned. "She's Eliza's blood." Silence crashed over the forest. Elena's heart stopped. "How do you know my grandmother?" she demanded. Ronan ignored her. His eyes locked onto Kale. "So, you finally found her," he said softly. Kale didn't deny it. Didn't move. Didn't blink. And that was enough. Ronan's grin turned savage. "Fate really is cruel," he chuckled. "After all these years. Say what you came to say, Kale snapped. Oh, I will, Ronan said. He stepped closer. Too close. Elena felt her pulse spike as danger radiated off him. She belongs to us. The words hit like a thunderclap. No, Kale said instantly. Ronan's expression darkened. You don't get a choice. Kale's eyes flared brighter. She's under my protection. Ronan laughed again, but there was no humor in it this time. You think protection matters, he said coldly. When the prophecy says otherwise. Elena's head spun. Prophecy, she repeated. Kale's hand tightened slightly, as if silently telling her to stay quiet. But Ronan had already said too much. She doesn't even know, does she? Ronan smirked. How disappointing. Kale's voice became a growl. Enough. The air shifted instantly. Danger escalated. Ronan stepped back slightly, raising his hands in mock surrender. All right, he said. I'll make this simple. His red eyes gleamed. Hand her over, and I let your pack live. Elena felt her stomach drop. Kale didn't hesitate. No. The word was absolute. Final. Ronan sighed. Always the hero. Then. Everything happened at once. Ronan shifted back into his wolf form. And lunged. Run. Kale roared. Elena didn't think. Didn't hesitate. She ran. Behind her. Chaos erupted. Snarls. Crashes. The sound of bodies slamming into each other. She didn't look back this time. She couldn't. Her legs moved on instinct, heart pounding wildly. Tears blurred her vision. Kale, she whispered. A loud crash echoed behind her, followed by a pained growl. Her chest tightened painfully. But then, arms wrapped around her. She screamed. Until she realized. It was him. Kale. Breathing hard. Alive. Don't stop, he said, pulling her along. But the others. They'll follow, he said. Right now, you come first. Something about those words hit her deeply. Dangerously. They ran for what felt like forever. Until finally. Lights appeared in the distance. Warm. Golden. A massive structure emerged through the trees. A castle. Hidden deep within the forest. Elena slowed, stunned. What is this? My home, Kale said. Before she could process it. Massive gates opened. And men stepped out. All of them. Watching her. Their eyes sharp. Assessing. Not hostile. But wary. Kale didn't stop. He led her straight inside. The gates slammed shut behind them. Sealing her in. Or keeping something out. She wasn't sure which. Inside, the castle was even more breathtaking. Stone walls. Flickering torches. Ancient power radiating through every corner. Elena turned to Kale. What is going on? She demanded. Who are they? What is this prophecy? Why do they want me? Kale was silent for a moment. Struggling. Then finally, he looked at her. Not as a stranger. Not even as a human. But as something far more significant. You were never supposed to come here, he said quietly. Elena's heart pounded. But now that you have. He stepped closer. His voice dropping. Everything is about to change. The Alpha's secret. The massive doors slammed shut behind them. The echo lingered through the stone halls like a warning. Elena stood frozen, her chest rising and falling rapidly as she tried to catch her breath. Every instinct screamed at her. You shouldn't be here. Yet, something inside her whispered the opposite. This place felt familiar. Kale finally released her hand. But the warmth of his touch lingered on her skin. You're safe here, he said. Elena turned sharply. Safe, she repeated. You call this safe? I was just chased by monsters. A few of the men nearby stiffened at her words. Kale didn't. They won't touch you here, he said calmly. That's not good enough, she snapped. Her voice echoed through the hall. Silence followed. Then, footsteps. Slow. Measured. A woman stepped forward from the shadows. tall, elegant. Her presence alone commanded attention. Her eyes, like Kale's, glowed faintly silver. "Elena Carter," she said softly. Elena blinked. "How do you know my name?" The woman smiled slightly. "Because we've been waiting for you." A chill ran down Elena's spine. Kale's expression hardened. "Lyra," he warned. So this was Lyra. Elena glanced between them. "Waiting for me," she repeated. "Why does everyone keep saying that?" Lyra stepped closer. Unlike Kale, her presence wasn't overwhelming. But it was powerful in a quieter, more dangerous way. "Because," Lyra said gently, "you were always meant to come." Elena shook her head. No, that's not possible. I just followed a map." "The locket," Lyra interrupted. Elena instinctively clutched it. "How do you know about this?" Lyra's gaze softened. "That locket," she said, "belongs to our world." Elena's heart skipped. "What does that mean?" Before Lyra could answer, Kale stepped in. "That's enough." His tone was firm. Protective. Lyra met his gaze. "You can't hide it from her forever." "I can protect her," Kale replied. "From the truth?" Lyra challenged. The tension between them was sharp. Heavy. Elena stepped forward. "No," she said. "No more secrets." Both of them looked at her. Her hands trembled, but her voice didn't. "I deserve to know what's going on." Kale exhaled slowly, like he had been dreading this moment. Then finally, "Fine." He turned to her fully, his glowing eyes locking onto hers. "Your grandmother," he began. Eliza Carter wasn't just human. Elena's world tilted. "What?" "She was one of us." Silence. Heavy. Unbelievable. Elena let out a small, shaky laugh. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking," Kale said. "No, that's impossible. She was normal. She raised me. She never." "She hid it," Lyra said softly. Elena turned to her. "Why would she do that?" Lyra hesitated. Then, "To protect you." The words hit harder than anything else. Elena's throat tightened. "Protect me from what?" Kale answered this time. "From becoming part of this world." Elena looked around the castle. At the warriors. At the shadows. At him. "And now," she whispered. Kale's expression darkened. "Now, you don't have a choice." Her heart pounded violently. "What does that mean?" Kale stepped closer. Slowly. Carefully. Like approaching something fragile. "Because you're not just her granddaughter," he said. Elena held her breath. "You're her legacy." The air seemed to shift. "What does that mean?" she asked again, her voice barely above a whisper. Kale hesitated. For the first time. The powerful Alpha looked uncertain. "It means," Lyra said gently, "you carry her bloodline. And that bloodline," Kale added quietly, "is tied to the prophecy." Elena's stomach dropped. "Stop saying that word like I'm supposed to understand it." Her voice cracked. Emotion rising. Fear. Confusion. Frustration. What prophecy? Silence. Then Kale spoke. "A child born from two worlds," he said slowly. "Eliza was human, but she was also bound to our kind." Elena shook her head. No. That child," Lyra continued, "would carry a power strong enough to either unite the packs or destroy them," Kale finished. The room fell completely silent. Elena felt like the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. "You're saying," she whispered. Kale didn't look away. "You're the one the prophecy speaks of." Her breath hitched. "No." But even as she said it, something inside her reacted. A strange warmth. A pulse beneath her skin. Like something awakening. "This isn't real," she said weakly. But Kale stepped closer. Close enough that she could feel his presence completely. "It is," he said. Their eyes locked. And for a moment, everything else faded. The fear. The chaos. The questions. All that remained was him. And the strange, powerful connection pulling her toward him. "Why do I feel like this?" she whispered. Kale's expression softened. Just slightly. You feel it too. It wasn't a question. It was a statement. Elena's heart pounded. Yes, she admitted. The word barely audible. Kale lifted his hand slowly, as if giving her time to pull away. But she didn't. His fingers brushed her cheek. And the moment they touched, a shock of energy surged through her. Elena gasped. Images flashed through her mind. A forest. The same forest. But years ago. A woman. Her grandmother. Standing beside a younger Kale. Laughing. Alive. The vision vanished as quickly as it came. Elena staggered slightly. What was that? Kale's eyes widened. You saw it. Saw what? Memories, he said. Not yours. Elena's pulse raced. How is that possible? Kale didn't answer immediately. But when he did, his voice was quieter, more vulnerable than before. Because you're not just tied to the prophecy. He swallowed. You're tied here to me. The words hung between them. Heavy. Unavoidable. Elena's breath caught. What do you mean? Kale's hand slowly lowered from her face. But the connection remained. Stronger now. More dangerous. Your grandmother, he said. She wasn't just part of our world. Elena waited. Heart pounding. She was my mate. Everything shattered. A forbidden bond. The words hit like a storm crashing through her soul. She was my mate. Elena staggered back as if the truth itself had struck her. No, she whispered. Her voice trembled not just with fear, but something deeper. Something breaking. That's not possible. Kale didn't move. Didn't look away. I wouldn't lie about something like that. Elena's chest tightened painfully. My grandmother, she said slowly, trying to make sense of it, was your mate? The word felt strange. Heavy. Intimate. Yes. Silence filled the space between them. But it wasn't empty. It was suffocating. How? She demanded. She was human. She was more than that, Lyra said softly from behind them. Elena turned sharply. Then why didn't she ever tell me? No one answered immediately. And that silence said everything. Tears burned behind Elena's eyes. All this time, she whispered. All this time, she knew about this world and she kept me in the dark. To protect you, Kale said again. That's not protection, Elena snapped. That's a lie. Her voice echoed through the hall, raw with emotion. Kale stepped closer, but this time, she moved back. Don't, she warned. Something flickered in his eyes. Pain. Real pain. You don't understand. Then make me understand, she cried. The air suddenly shifted. A strange energy pulsed through the room. Low. Unstable. The torches along the walls flickered violently. Lyra's expression changed instantly. Kale. He felt it too. His gaze snapped back to Elena. And that's when he saw it. A faint golden glow beneath her skin. Step back, he said carefully. But Elena didn't hear him. Her heart was racing too fast. Her emotions spiraling out of control. She lied to me, she shouted. The glow intensified. The ground beneath her feet trembled slightly. She left me with nothing but questions. Elena, Kale said firmly. You need to calm down. I am calm, she snapped. The moment the words left her mouth, a burst of energy exploded outward. A shockwave. Invisible, but powerful. It slammed into the walls, rattling everything in the room. Elena gasped. The glow vanished instantly. And silence followed. Heavy. Stunned. What was that? She whispered. Kale stared at her. Not with fear, but with certainty. Your power, he said. Elena shook her head. No, I don't have powers. You do now, Lyra said quietly. Elena looked down at her hands. They were trembling. What is happening to me? Kale stepped closer again. Slower this time. More cautious. Your grandmother sealed your abilities, he explained. To keep you hidden. Hidden from who? Kale's expression darkened. From packs like Ronan's. Elena swallowed hard. So now that I'm here. The seal is breaking, Lyra said. Elena felt her stomach twist. No. She backed away again. I don't want this. Kale's voice softened. I know. No, you don't, she snapped. You were born into this. You belong here. Her voice cracked. I don't. The vulnerability in her words cut deeper than anger ever could. Kale's chest tightened. For a moment, he didn't look like an alpha. He just looked like a man. Watching someone he cared about fall apart. You do belong, he said quietly. Elena shook her head, tears finally spilling over. Not like this. Their eyes met again. And once more. That pull. Stronger than before. More dangerous. More undeniable. Why does it feel like I know you? She whispered. Kale froze. Because he felt it too. Every second. Every heartbeat. You shouldn't, he said. But I do. The honesty in her voice shook him. It doesn't make sense, she continued. You're a stranger, but when you touch me. She stopped. But she didn't need to finish. They both knew. Kale exhaled slowly. This isn't supposed to happen. Elena frowned. What isn't? He hesitated. And that hesitation was enough to tell her. Something was very wrong. Kale, she said, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. What aren't you telling me? He looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, he saw not just Eliza's granddaughter, but something entirely her own. Strong. Brave. Unbreakable. And dangerously important. Our bond, he said finally. Elena's heart skipped. What about it? Kale's jaw tightened. It shouldn't exist. The words landed heavily. But it does, Elena said softly. Yes, he admitted. Silence stretched between them again. But this time, it wasn't just confusion. It was something deeper. Something neither of them could ignore anymore. Why? She asked. Kale hesitated. Then. Because I already had a mate. The reminder hit differently now. Elena's chest tightened. My grandmother. Yes. Then this. She gestured between them. This isn't real. Kale's eyes darkened. It is. But it can't be, she insisted. You said it yourself, it shouldn't exist. And yet it does, he repeated. His voice low. Frustrated. Conflicted. Elena took a shaky breath. What does that mean for me? Kale didn't answer immediately. Because the truth wasn't simple. It means, Lyra said quietly from the side, that something has changed. Both of them turned to her. The bond between mates is sacred, Lyra continued. It doesn't just repeat. Elena swallowed. So I'm what? A mistake? No, Kale said instantly. Too quickly. Too firmly. You're not a mistake. Then what am I? Kale stepped closer again. Closing the distance. This time. She didn't move away. You're something new, he said. His voice softer now. But new doesn't mean safe. Before Elena could respond, a loud horn echoed through the castle. Deep. Urgent. Dangerous. Kale's entire posture changed instantly. Alert. Deadly. What is that? Elena asked. Lyra's expression darkened. They're here. Elena's heart dropped. Who? Kale turned toward the doors. His eyes glowing brighter than ever. Ronan. The ground trembled faintly beneath them. A distant crash echoed from outside. The sound of something massive hitting the gates. Elena's pulse spiked. No, they can't be here already. They didn't come for a visit, Kale said coldly. Another crash. Louder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling. They came for you. Elena's breath hitched. Fear clawed its way back into her chest. What do we do? Kale turned back to her. And in his eyes, there was no hesitation. No doubt. Only one decision. We fight. Blood and power. The entire castle shook violently. Another deafening crash echoed through the walls. The gates wouldn't hold much longer. Elena's heart pounded so hard it felt like it might shatter her chest. "They're breaking in," she whispered. Cale turned sharply toward the warriors gathering in the hall. His presence changed instantly. No hesitation. No softness. Only power. "Prepare for battle," his voice thundered. The warriors moved immediately. Weapons drawn. Eyes glowing. Ready. Elena stood frozen in the middle of it all. This wasn't her world. This wasn't her fight. But somehow, she was at the center of it. Cale turned back to her. "You need to go somewhere safe." "No," she said instantly. He frowned. "Elena." "I said no," she repeated, stronger this time. "They're here because of me. I'm not hiding while everyone else fights." Cale's jaw tightened. "You don't understand what you're risking." "Then make me understand while we fight," she shot back. For a moment, he just stared at her. And then, something shifted. Respect. Reluctant. But real. "Stay close to me," he said. Elena nodded. The next crash was louder than all the others. Wood splintered. Stone cracked. And then, the gates exploded inward. Chaos flooded the castle. Rogue wolves stormed in, snarling, vicious, unstoppable. Their red eyes burned through the darkness like fire. The battle began instantly. Clashes. Growls. The sound of bodies slamming into stone. Elena stumbled back as two wolves crashed past her, fighting viciously. "Stay behind me," Cale roared. And then, he shifted. Right in front of her. Bones snapping. Muscles expanding. His body transforming into the massive silver wolf she had seen in the forest. But this time, he was even more terrifying. More powerful. A true alpha. He lunged into the fight without hesitation. Tearing through enemies with brutal precision. Elena stood there, breath caught in her throat. Watching. Frozen. Until a rogue wolf turned toward her. Its red eyes locked onto hers. Predatory. Hungry. Her body went cold. It charged. Fast. Too fast. "Elena," someone shouted. But she couldn't move. Fear rooted her to the ground. The wolf leaped. And suddenly, time slowed. Something inside her snapped. No. Not snapped. Awakened. A surge of golden light exploded from her body. Brighter than anything before. The wolf was thrown backward midair, slamming violently into a wall. Silence followed. Even the battle seemed to pause for a split second. Elena stared at her hands. Glowing. Shaking. "I did that," she whispered. A low growl snapped her back. Another wolf. Closer this time. But something had changed. The fear was gone. Replaced by something else. Power. Raw. Uncontrolled. Dangerous. "Stay back," she shouted. The wolf hesitated. Just for a second. And that was enough. Another burst of energy shot from her. Stronger this time. More precise. The wolf was sent crashing across the hall. Gasps echoed around her. The warriors stared. Even Cale paused mid-fight. Turning toward her. Shock flickering in his glowing eyes. "She's controlling it," Lyra whispered. But Elena barely heard them. Her focus narrowed. Her heartbeat slowed. The chaos around her blurred. All she could feel was the power inside her. Calling. Responding. Alive. A shadow moved through the battlefield. Slow. Confident. Unafraid. Ronan. He stepped forward, shifting back into human form as he walked through the wreckage. His eyes locked onto Elena. And for the first time, he didn't look amused. He looked impressed. "Well," he said slowly. "That's new." Cale moved instantly, placing himself between them. His wolf form towering protectively in front of her. Ronan smirked. Still playing guardian, he mocked. Cale growled. A deep, threatening sound. Ronan's gaze shifted past him, back to Elena. You're stronger than I expected, he said. Elena swallowed hard, but stood her ground. What do you want from me? Ronan tilted his head. Everything. The word sent a chill down her spine. You see, he continued, your power isn't just rare. It's necessary. For what? She demanded. Ronan smiled. For the future of our kind. Kale's growl intensified. She's not part of your plans. Ronan laughed. She already is. His eyes gleamed dangerously. The prophecy doesn't belong to you, Kale. It belongs to whoever is strong enough to claim it. Elena's heart pounded. I'm not something to be claimed, she said. Ronan's smile widened. That's where you're wrong. He moved fast. Too fast. Before anyone could react. He was right in front of her. His hand shot out, grabbing her wrist. Pain shot through her instantly. Elena, Kale roared. But the moment Ronan touched her, the world exploded. A massive surge of golden energy erupted from her body. Stronger than anything before. Wild. Uncontrolled. It blasted Ronan backward across the hall. He slammed into a pillar, cracking it on impact. The entire room shook. Silence followed. Heavy. Stunned. Elena collapsed to her knees, gasping. The glow faded. Her body trembling violently. Kale shifted back instantly, rushing to her side. Elena. He caught her before she fell. I'm okay, she whispered weakly. But she wasn't. He could feel it. Her energy. Unstable. Burning too fast. Ronan groaned from across the hall. Slowly rising. Wiping blood from his lip. But instead of anger, he laughed. A low, dark sound. This just got interesting. Kale's eyes burned with fury. Leave. Now. Ronan looked between them. Then smiled. This isn't over. His gaze lingered on Elena. We'll meet again. And with that, he shifted. And disappeared into the night with the remaining rogues. Silence fell over the castle. Broken only by heavy breathing. And the aftermath of battle. Kale turned back to Elena. His hands still on her. His expression. No longer just protective. But something deeper. Something far more dangerous. You're not safe anymore, he said quietly. Elena looked up at him. Exhausted. Shaken. But I was never safe, was I? She whispered. Kale didn't answer. Because she already knew. The alpha I was meant to meet. The castle was quiet. Too quiet. After the chaos, after the battle, the silence felt almost unreal. Broken walls. Scattered debris. Faint traces of blood. The cost of one night. One meeting. One choice. Elena stood by the tall arched window, staring out into the dark forest. The same forest that had changed her life forever. Her reflection in the glass barely looked like her anymore. Her eyes. They flickered faintly with gold. A reminder. Nothing was the same. You should be resting. Kale's voice came from behind her. Deep. Familiar. Steady. Elena didn't turn immediately. I tried, she said softly. But every time I close my eyes, I see it. The battle? She nodded. And more. She finally turned to face him. Things I don't understand. Kale stepped closer. Slow. Careful. As if approaching something fragile. Your powers are still awakening, he said. Memories, visions, they'll come and go. Elena searched his face. And you? She asked quietly. Will you always be there too? The question caught him off guard. I don't know what you mean. Yes, you do, she said. Her voice was soft, but certain. When I use my power, when I feel it, it's like I feel you too. Kale's chest tightened. Because he felt it. Every second. Every breath. That pull. That connection. That shouldn't be happening, he said. But it is, Elena replied. Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Honest. Dangerous. Elena took a small step closer. Tell me the truth, she said. No more protecting me. No more secrets. Kale held her gaze. And this time, he didn't look away. The bond we feel, he began slowly, it's not just attraction. Elena's heart pounded. Then what is it? Kale hesitated. Because once he said it, everything would change. It's a mate bond. The words hung in the air. Unavoidable. Elena's breath caught. But, you said. Yes, he interrupted. I already had one. My grandmother. Yes. Then how is this possible? Kale exhaled slowly. The bond between mates is supposed to happen once in a lifetime. Elena swallowed. So what are we? Kale stepped closer. Close enough that the space between them disappeared. That's what I don't understand, he admitted. His voice was quieter now. More vulnerable than ever. But I know one thing. Elena held her breath. When I thought I lost you tonight, he said, his eyes locking onto hers, it felt like losing everything all over again. Her heart clenched. Because she felt it too. That same fear. That same pull. That's not just destiny, Elena whispered. No, Kale agreed. It's something more. The air between them shifted. The tension. The emotion. The connection. Too strong to ignore now. Elena's voice softened. What happens now? Kale didn't answer immediately. Instead, he reached for her. Slowly. Giving her time to pull away. But she didn't. Their hands met. And instantly, that energy surged again. But this time, it didn't explode. It flowed. Warm. Steady. Alive. Golden light intertwined with silver. Soft. Balanced. Beautiful. Elena gasped softly. It's different. Kale nodded. Because you're not fighting it. Their eyes met. And in that moment, you have a choice, Kale said. Elena frowned slightly. A choice. You can leave, he said. The words surprised her. Kale continued. You can walk away from all of this. This world. This danger. Me. Elena's heart tightened. And if I stay? Kale's expression darkened slightly. Then you become part of a war that's only just beginning. Images flashed in her mind. Ronan. The red eyes. The power inside her. The prophecy. You'll be hunted, he added quietly. Targeted. Changed forever. Elena looked down at their joined hands. At the golden light still glowing softly around them. I'm already changed, she said. Kale didn't argue. Because it was true. Elena looked back up at him. Her eyes steady now. Stronger. Braver. And running won't fix that. Kale searched her face. Are you sure? Elena nodded slowly. I came into that forest looking for answers. A small, bittersweet smile touched her lips. I didn't expect to find this. Her grip on his hand tightened slightly. But I'm not walking away from it. Kale's heart pounded. Not from fear. Not from battle. But from something far more dangerous. Hope. You don't know what you're choosing, he said. Elena held his gaze. Then I'll learn. A pause. Then. She stepped closer. Closing the last bit of distance between them. I'm not afraid, she whispered. That was the moment everything changed. Because Kale could feel it. She meant it. And for the first time in a long time, neither was he. His hand lifted gently to her face, mirroring the moment from before. But this time, there was no hesitation, no fear, only truth. You should be, he murmured. But his voice softened as he added, because I don't think I can let you go. Elena's breath caught. Then don't. The words were barely a whisper, but they carried everything. And that was all it took. Kale closed the distance. Their lips met. Soft at first. Careful. Like testing something fragile. But the moment deepened quickly. The bond between them igniting fully. Golden and silver light flared around them. Swirling. Merging. Becoming one. Outside. The wind howled. The forest stirred. As if the world itself had felt it. Something ancient had awakened. Something powerful. Something dangerous. Far away. In the darkness. Ronan stood at the edge of the forest, watching the castle from afar. His red eyes gleamed. He smiled slowly. So it begins. That night, I thought I had lost my way in the forest. But I didn't. I found my destiny. I found my power. And I found him. The alpha I was never supposed to love, but was always meant to meet. If this story kept your heart racing, if you felt the connection, if you want to see what happens next, like this video, subscribe for more werewolf romance stories, and comment, part 2 if you want the next chapter.